This next story is a true story of a Latino American man who almost lost his life with a Tinder date gone wrong. The story should be used as an example of what are the possibilities when dating, visiting, or traveling around the world. Not everything that glitters is gold. Here it goes. Yo, what's up? I'm Fernando. I'm 26, Nicaraguan American from the States. Yeah, that means I'm fluent in both English and Spanish, and trust me, that's a pretty big flex in this story. I wasn't always the best with women, and I'll get to that. You know what they say. It's not about the quantity of your mistakes, but how much you learn from them, right? And damn, did I learn something the hard way. Let me take you back to when things started to go south, because this all started innocently enough. I was swiping on Tinder like most guys do, not expecting much. I wasn't looking for a serious relationship or anything. I just thought I'd meet some cool women, maybe get a date or two. I was at home one day bored as hell looking for distraction. Anyway, one night I decided to use that passport feature on Tinder, you know, the one where you can match with people from all over the world. I set my location to Medellin, Colombia, just for the fun of it. I heard so many good things about the city, like it's the hotspot for expats and digital nomads. And who wouldn't want to hang out there, right? Anyway, I started matching with a bunch of girls, and there was Isabella. She was 24, a little younger than me, but not by much. She was gorgeous, dark hair, pale skin, dark eyes. Vos ya sabes, 100% paisa. And the way she talked, damn, it was like poetry in motion. At first, I thought she was probably some kind of catfish. I mean, how often do you find someone that hot and they're actually real? But I guess I was curious enough to message her anyway. We started talking and it felt different from the usual Tinder nonsense. She actually responded to my questions, wasn't just hitting me with the same generic lines. Over time, we got more personal, talking about our lives, our goals, everything. Her English wasn't that good, but since I speak Spanish, we had no problems. She was also teaching me a bit of the slang from Medellin.
Vos estás muy papacito. Y vos por qué sos tan lindo?
Things were going great, and it wasn't like I was looking for anything serious. It was more like an interesting connection. But after a few months, we'd moved to texting every day. That's when the first weird thing happened. I tried to video call her a few times, but she'd always make some excuses like, no es un buen momento, aún no estoy lista para vos, which basically meant she wasn't ready. Red flag number 1. Or, bebecito, mi wifi no funciona, which meant her Wi-Fi wasn't working. I wasn't stupid, so I didn't press it too hard at first, but then it got to the point where I was feeling a little like, I don't know, suspicious. She always sent me messages like, mi amor, vos sos mi mundo, which translates to, you are my everything, trying to butter me up. She really laid it on thick. So I decided to push it one night. I sent her a message like, hey, if you're really gonna keep talking, I'd like to see you, you know? It's weird how we've never done a video call. And she finally agreed. I was kind of nervous, not gonna lie. I mean, what if I was wrong? What if I was talking to some dude from Kansas or whatever, you know, pretending to be a smoking hot Colombian girl? But when the video call actually came through, I saw her face. Damn, I could tell it was her. There was no weird angles, no obvious signs of a fake background. She had a slight smirk on her lips, and I swear I felt my heartbeat skip a little bit. So yeah, after that, I was convinced. She was real, and I was relieved, thinking, okay, maybe I'm not being played after all. Fast forward a couple of months, and we're still going strong. By now, I'm hooked on Isabella. She was sweet, fun, and super ambitious. She told me she was studying marketing, and had big dreams of starting her own business one day. Honestly, that kind of passion was sexy. But there was one thing that kept coming up in conversation. She would always bring up me coming to visit her in Medellin. At first, I didn't really take it seriously. I mean, we hadn't even met in person yet. But eventually, she started dropping more hints like, it would be so nice to show you around the city. I could take you to all my favorite places. You'd love it here. And then one day, she just straight up said, you should come here and visit me. I laughed thinking it was one of those, let's talk about this in the future things. But she was dead serious. She told me she could even help me with travel arrangements. that she knew the best places to stay, and that I could crash at her place for a few days. Now let me tell you, I was skeptical at first. I mean, meeting a girl you've been talking to for almost a year locally is one thing, but flying halfway across the world, I was really feeling some type of way. But she kept pushing, telling me how much she wanted to meet me, how special this could be. Eventually, I caved in. I booked the flight. I still didn't know if I was making the right call, but at that point, I figured I'd be safe. What could go wrong, right? Worst case scenario, I'd have a nice vacation in Medellin and see a new city. I wasn't expecting some wild romance or anything. I just wanted to meet the girl I've been talking to for a year, see what all the hype was about, and maybe have some fun. I arrived in Medellin and stayed in El Poblado, which if you don't know is like the epicenter of the gringo expat scene in the city. It's filled with tourists, backpackers, and digital nomads, all living their best lives, posting pictures of their avocado toast and talking about their adventures in South America. I wasn't in a rush to get into that scene, but it was nice to know that I could blend in if I needed to. When I met Isabella in person for the first time, it was honestly like a scene out of a movie. She was just as beautiful in person, maybe even more so. We hugged and I could feel this immediate connection. It wasn't awkward at all, which looking back I think should have been my first red flag. We hit it off instantly. We spent the first couple of days doing touristy stuff, checking out museums, hiking to some amazing viewpoints, eating local food, and just enjoying each other's company. It was perfect, honestly. I felt like a kid in a candy store, just soaking up the experience. But then came day 3. We were hanging out at her apartment in the evening, just chilling and talking about random stuff. I didn't think anything of it when she made us a couple of drinks. I'm not a big drinker, but I figured why not? It was the evening. We were just kicking back. The drink was a little stronger than I expected, but I didn't think much of it at the time. We talked for a while and I started feeling really off, like tired in a way I couldn't explain. I tried to shake it off, but the next thing I remember is waking up in her bed on my stomach. My mouth was dry as hell and I felt like I'd been hit by a truck. I was confused as hell. Where was my wallet? Where was my phone? I tried to move and I felt so dizzy, like the room was spinning around me. My body felt sluggish and then it hit me. The last thing I remember was drinking that damn cocktail she made. I turned over on the bed, trying to gather myself, and then I saw all my stuff was gone. My wallet, my phone, my backpack, and even my favorite watch. I was in a daze and honestly, I wasn't sure what to do. I stumbled around the apartment, but it felt like my legs couldn't hold up. That's when I realized she had set me up. The woman I trusted, the one I thought was real, had drugged me and taken everything I had. I don't even know how long I was lying there. My stomach was a mess. I felt nauseous, dizzy, and weak. I wanted to scream, but I didn't have the strength. I don't know if she had planned to come back, but I woke up later and the place was empty. There was no signs of her anywhere. I don't know how I survived that, to be honest, but I did. Afterward, I spent the next few days just trying to figure out what the hell happened. I went to the local police station, but they didn't seem too interested in helping me. My stuff was long gone, and I wasn't even sure what kind of case I had. I had no evidence, no way to track her down. The whole thing felt like a bad dream. So here I am telling you the story. Why? Because I don't want anyone else to make the same mistake I did. If something feels off, trust your gut. Don't let that picture-perfect Instagram model fool you. Isabella, that's even her real name, is still out there probably doing the same thing to other guys. And if you ever meet someone online and they keep making excuses about video calls or disappear when you're in town, don't ignore it. Learn from me. I'm just glad I got out of that mess with my life and a whole lot of lessons learned. Mira vos. Wow, guys, this story is a doozy. Our boy Fernando went through hell and back and was able to walk away with his life, unlike a slew of other less fortunate guys that weren't able to make it. I'm sure you've heard of other stories like this coming out of Colombia, and I hope this serves you as a warning on the signs to look out for when deciding to travel or visit Colombia. And make sure to learn Spanish even at a basic level so you can lower your risk of getting into a similar predicament. Pa que vos lo sepas. Just so you know. And to Fernando, gracias hermano, vos sos muy amable. And make sure to check out my previous video on a man who absolutely won at life right here. And send over a story of your own that you'd like to be featured in the next video. Subscribe, share, like, and comment. My name is Roberto, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye for now.